My name is Melissa Trimmer, and I am the Corporate Executive Chef here at Dawn Foods. I actually run the Innovation Studio here, which is this amazing cross-functional space between culinary and R&D. So how did I know I wanted to become a chef? This is kind of an interesting story. I was a city kid and I've spent most of my life in the city. And I spent my summers on my aunt and uncle's dairy farm. And so my cousins and all the farm hands had to go out and work the fields every day. And I hated it. I hated it so much that I tried to come up with reasons that I didn't have to go. And so my aunt decided one day, you don't have to go, but you have to stay in the kitchen and you have to help me cook for everybody. And after about 2 days of that, I realized that the kitchen is where I wanted to be. That kind of led to a life in bakery and restaurants. I've been cooking since I was 15. I went off to culinary school and then trained in Europe. I am also an American Culinary Federation Certified Executive Pastry Chef, so I spent a lot of time in super fine dining, then a little bit of time in education, and now I've been here with Dawn for about 4 years. Bakery inspiration is such a really large umbrella. One of the things my team does is we partner with our marketing and insights team to take a real look at hard customer data and consumer trends, right? So that's thing number one. And that's really an important part of the equation. But then there's the really inspirational stuff, right? Which is maybe not necessarily in mainstream yet. And those are generally things coming out of fine dining, really high-end patisseries. And the nice part is that's where my history is, right? That's where I spent 20 years. So whether it's checking out my friends' Instagrams, whether it's traveling, whether it's just really paying attention to blogs, social media, and getting out of my comfort zone, that's where that second part of the inspiration spot comes. Let's talk trends. I love that. So Dawn Foods launches a new trends report every 3 years. Our first trend is called technology transformation. And really that focuses on how the industry has changed around technology. That could be anything from ordering food online to having that Instagrammable moment at your bakery, right? And so how does bakery react to these brand new consumer behaviors? The next trend that we launched is called experience exploration. And this is a really lovely mix of that blend of nostalgia and new experiences. As we saw the pandemic take hold, we saw consumer behavior shift where folks really wanted those nostalgic flavors of childhood. Well, now as we've come out of this pandemic, they want those flavors but with a twist. Maybe it's in a new format. Maybe it's got a new flavor or texture introduced to it. So it's really kind of exploring, not quite too far, but just far enough to be fun. Our third trend is called daily delights. This is kind of thinking about food or treats as a mental health wellness, right? So maybe cheat day doesn't feel good when I say it, but I really know that I deserve that cupcake and I just want the most delicious cupcake ever. It might be smaller, might be larger, but that's part of my mental health journey to know that I want to take care of myself by treating myself to something luxurious that I deserve. So that's really where that daily delights trend comes in. Our last trend is called Mindfulness Matters. And this really goes around sustainability and then some, right? So not only where is my food from, but what does it do for me? What does it do for the planet? And how does it make me feel when I purchase that item? So really Mindfulness Matters encompasses so many other smaller pieces of the industry. And again, how does bakery respond to that? It might be something like having Michigan apple filling. It could be something cleaner label. It could be like sticking to that local bakery down at the corner. The best piece of advice I can give about baking is to use a scale and weigh everything. Period. That's it. Weigh them. Ingredients change. What people don't realize is that if I take a cup of water, that does not weigh the same as a cup of flour. And that's why professional bakers and pastry chefs use scales, right? So a cup of water weighs 8 ounces, and that's what those measuring cups, when you look at those measuring cups, that's what those are based on, is the weight of water. Well, there's not very many things that weigh the same as water, right? So if I take that scoop cup of flour, depending on what kind of flour it is, it's gonna be around 5.5 ounces. Well, that's not 8 ounces, right? What if I put honey in there? Well, it's gonna be significantly heavier than water. So the best piece of advice I can give is use weights. It will get you there every time.